Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tennessee got a pretty big opportunity coming up on January the 1st as they will be facing a 10-win Iowa Hawkeyes football team. Look, Iowa is really bad on offense, but they play some pretty good defense right now. Tennessee favored by over a touchdown, favored by 7.5 going into the bowl game. Tennessee with an opportunity to go win 9 football games. I mean, how about that under Josh Heupel? Year 1, 7 wins. Year 2, 11 wins. Now an opportunity to go win 9 in 2023. And I know 9 wins after the bowl game is not what we were looking for in 2023, but in the grand scheme of things, when you rewind time, when you go back to when Josh Heupel was hired, if you told me in no particular order he was going to win 7, 9, and 11 football games, I would say sign me up for that every single time. It's been amazing to watch what Josh Heupel has done in just 3 years. But right now, man, a lot of people aren't even talking about the bowl game. We're talking about 2024. We're talking about the transfer portal. We're talking about all kinds of opportunities in recruiting. Had a fun live stream this morning. Man, if you missed the live stream, go back and give it a watch. Broke down a lot of information. But one thing that came out after that as we look ahead to 2024 is this right here. Matt Zenitz reporting Tennessee senior linebacker Keenan Pili is expected to return to the Vols for another season instead of heading to the NFL, sources tell 247 Sports. Now, Pili, a former BYU transfer, missed most of the year due to injury, was a 2-time team captain at BYU. Now, this really comes as no surprise. We were expecting this, kind of speculating on this as, Keenan Pili was expected back in October, but he never returned to the field. Everything indicated that he was going to be looking for that medical waiver and come back for another year of football, and that's huge, man. Again, this morning, we talked about all the guys looking to return. Everything indicates that Cooper Mays and Spraggins are going to be coming back. John Campbell going to Twitter announcing that he's coming back. A lot of hype on that offensive side of the ball, of course, with Nico throwing the football around. It sounds like Jalen Wright off to the NFL. Jabari Small looking at the NFL, maybe looking at transferring, but Tennessee still has some talent in that running back room. But it's good to flip over to defense and see that Keenan Pili is going to come back because I think he is crucial at that linebacker position. So a lot of guys looking to come back, a lot of guys looking to run it back in 2024. But the question that's also being asked, people are saying, Boogie, who's going to be the defensive coordinator? Boogie, who's going to be the defensive coordinator for the bowl game? Who's going to be the defensive coordinator in 2024? Tim Banks is off to MTSU to be the head coach. Is he? Or is he not? We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it. But as always, do me a favor, smash the thumbs up. Just below this video, it is quick, free, and easy. I would appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you. We talk with you. This channel is built on being for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Got a ton of content coming your way. We're going to be live tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Talkin VAWLS live. Don't miss it. Also Thursday, we're either going to be doing an NCAA stream or we're going to be covering the commitment, the live commitment of 5-star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton. We may be doing both. So make sure you are tuned in, dialed in so you don't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Let's talk about Tim Banks. Let's start with what, kind of put all this out there. It came from a troll account. You can see on the screen right there, Josh Heupel's burner account. Now, this Twitter handle changed their name to Pete Thamel, and that's what happens. You guys got to use good social media discipline when you're checking out all this stuff that's floating around on Twitter. But this is what he tweeted out back on December the 1st. Man, this seems like an eternity ago. Everybody's been talking about it, haven't had a chance to make a video, but the rumors are still floating around. Everybody's still saying Tim Banks is gone. So I felt like I needed to address it just 4 days later. It says here, source, Tennessee defensive coordinator Tim Banks is expected to accept the MTSU job. Sources confirmed to ESPN. Expected deal is 3 years at $2 million a year with incentives. Willie Martinez will be interim DC for Tennessee's bowl game. If you don't see that as a troll, I mean, there's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation about whether Willie Martinez is going to retire, whether his contract's going to be renewed, or whether he's going to end up coaching DBs at another football team next year. So, of course, the troll likes to throw in there that Willie Martinez is going to be the guy that steps up as the interim defensive coordinator. Now, again, that was a troll account. That was all. People like to have fun on the internet, and I get it. Do what you want to do, but there is a little bit of truth to it. So let's jump into it. Let's take a look at this article from A to Z Sports. This came out on the same day. Tennessee Vols assistant coach is reportedly a legitimate candidate for a vacant head coaching job. Now, as this information started to come out, you can go back to Friday. Austin Price, VolQuest.com, puts on the message board, says, I'm told that MTSU may have some interest in talking with Tim Banks. Not sure anything comes from it, but won't be surprised if they talk to him. So again, the troll says it's a done deal. The troll says Willie Martinez is going to be the defensive coordinator for the bowl game. And then Austin Price says, hold on a second. They're actually going to have some conversation here. Now it gets a little deeper. Again, this is an article from Zach Reagan over at A to Z Sports. Shout out Zach, he's the man. He's worth a follow on Twitter. Great Twitter follow. The article here says Tennessee Vols defensive coordinator Tim Banks appears to be a legitimate candidate for a head coaching job. Knoxville-based talk show host Tony Basilio, love him or hate him, reported on Friday afternoon that Banks has interviewed twice for the Middle Tennessee State job that came open earlier this week when longtime coach Rick Stockstill was fired. Says Football Scoop's John Bryce confirmed later on Friday afternoon that Banks spoke with MTSU earlier this week. So these are real, true media guys that are bringing you factual information. Say what you want about Tony Basilio. Sometimes he likes to throw stuff at the wall to see if it sticks. Again, I know some of you guys love him. Some of you guys hate him. That's fine. You can choose to listen to whoever you want. Tony Basilio says on the Tim Banks report, says I can report that he's interviewed twice in the past 48 hours. Again, this is on December the 1st at 3:50 p.m. Says I can report that he's interviewed twice in the last 48 hours for the opening at MTSU. He is very much interested in the job. It is believed that money would be approximately $1.5 million per year. John Bryce follows that up and says, can confirm Banks initially spoke with MTSU midweek as one of the Blue Raiders' most prominent candidates. Am told job has drawn massive interest. Perception is good opportunity in a great area and can be elevated. So that's confirming that conversations, interviews are taking place. Follow up from Brent Hubbs on Saturday. He says this coaching search is going to be interesting. MTSU has talked to Banks. Where is MTSU's budget? They are paying Rick Stockstill around $5 million to go away. Said they were paying him $800,000 a year. Banks makes $1.5 million a year at Tennessee. I don't think MTSU can get to that salary. So if they offered it, Banks, how big of a pay cut is he willing to take? So you can see here Tony Basilio reporting $1.5 million. They paid their previous coach a whole lot less than that. They were paying him $800,000 a year. So I think ultimately, if there's some truth to this, if Banks is the front runner, are you willing to take $1.5 million? Like you're talking about a lateral move. So what do you want to do? Lateral move meaning financially. Do you want to be a head coach at MTSU, or do you want to be a defensive coordinator in the SEC? Article goes on to say this doesn't mean that Banks is definitely gone, as it sounds like there's plenty of interest in the job, but there's at least a possibility that Josh Heupel could lose a coordinator for the second straight offseason. Obviously, Alex Golish, off to be the head coach at USF, goes on to say Heupel needs to be ready to move quickly if this is the case and this is what happens. So how much truth is there to this? Well, here's another follow-up that I want to take a look at. Chris Lowe tweeted this out. This is yesterday, December the 4th. Says Austin Peay's Scotty Walden has agreed to become the next head coach at UTEP, sources tell ESPN. Football Scoop was the first to report. Now, some of you may be saying, okay, what does that matter? What does that have to do with anything? Well, you can see the timeline here, right? December 1st, all this news starts to come out, all the buzz, Tim Banks having conversations, interviewing, offers, all that stuff, and then it went silent, got really quiet. Nothing but speculation. What's happening? Is Tim Banks really taking this job? Brent Hubbs commented on this tweet right here and said it would be very interesting because Scotty Walden was the front runner for the MTSU job. That's who they prioritized. So does Tim Banks kind of bump up? Does he move up the list? Now, look, I know a lot of you. We'll see what happens. So as of right now, is Tim Banks off the MTSU? No. Could he be? Yes. Very possible. Very realistic possibility. This is where some of you are going to disagree with me. I think some of you are going to celebrate that. I think some of you are going to be happy that Tim Banks is off to MTSU. Go back and watch the morning stream. Look how much excitement is around this fan base right now. The excitement around Nico. The excitement around the offensive line returning. The excitement about guys like Omar Norman Lott, Big Omari Thomas, guys like Keenan Pili returning, coming back. Why? Why is John Campbell tweeting out the GIF or whatever the video that he has where he's got Heupel's face, he's got Nico's face? Players are excited to play some football with Nico Iamaleava in 2024. They got a very legitimate shot at a college football playoff berth now that they're expanding to 12 teams. Well, Tim Banks sucks. Fire Tim Banks. He's awful. Is he awful? Year one under Tim Banks, roster depleted. Gave up 29.1 points per game. That's 90th in the country. A year ago, they improved that by almost a touchdown. 22.8 points per game, 36 in the country. This year, improved that by a little under a point. Not as much movement as you wanted. I wanted to see a little bit more growth, a little bit more movement. That's good for 39th in the country in scoring, in points allowed as a defense. Rushing yards per game, second in the SEC. Passing yards per game, pretty bad, 10th in the SEC. 79th in the country in yards per game allowed through the air. Sacks per game, third in the SEC. Tackles for loss, second in the SEC. Those are some pretty good numbers for Tim Banks. And let's be honest. We talk about Jimmys and Joes over X's and O's until we lose a football game, then we yell for coaches to be fired. People want Joey Halsley fired. People want Tim Banks fired. How about we get the Jimmys and Joes in? You got to realize we're just wrapping up year 3 of the Josh Heupel era. Does Tim Banks have all the talent that he needs? We're seeing some of these upperclassmen like Warren Burrell, like Brandon Turnage, go off to the transfer portal. Why? Because they are being recruited over. We're trimming the fat. I know a lot of times everybody just wants to blame the coordinator. That's probably, other than calling for the backup quarterback, everybody wants to fire the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator anytime something goes wrong. Every time something goes wrong, that's what they want to do. I think criticism is fair. You guys want to judge Tim Banks, that's fair. You want to judge him for his mid-game adjustments, that's fair. But I think we need to allow Tim Banks time to get his guys in place on defense. I think the defensive line is coming along, and I think a lot of that is because of Rodney Garner, obviously. Linebackers starting to come along. I think linebacker play would have been a whole lot better in 2023 if you had had Keenan Pili out there beside Aaron Beasley. Aaron Beasley was asked to do too much. He was bounced around from Mike to Will. We saw him struggle as the season played out. But at the beginning of the year, when you had Beasley and Pili side by side, these linebackers looked pretty dang good. The good side to that is you got a lot of young linebackers out there. Jeremiah Telander, Arian Carter got a lot of run this year. Caleb Perry got some run. How do they develop from freshman to sophomore year? And then who comes along on the back end? I think you got to give Tim Banks at least year 4 to see if he can get his guys in place. Once you get to year 4, year 5, guess what? It's your roster now. No more excuses. But I don't think going into 2024, a year where a lot of us are looking to make the college football playoff, a lot of us want to talk about SEC championships and national championships. You got your golden arm quarterback, the $8 million man, the guy we've been yelling for all year long. You got a bunch of guys returning on offense, all kinds of weapons. A bunch of guys going to be on campus this weekend from the portal. Watch the live stream this morning. A lot of good information there. Is now the time that you want to completely change your scheme on defense. You want to install a new system, new verbiage. You want these guys to completely learn a new system going into 2024? Or do you want to see if we can get the right guys in place in Tim Banks' offense and go win a national championship? Jump into the comment section. Let's break it down. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. I hope Tim Banks is here for another year. I don't want this staff turnover. I want to keep this staff intact, get the Jimmys and Joes in place, and let's go win some dang football games, boys. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash a thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the merch. You guys know where. There is a link in the description below where you can pick up Talkin VAWLS merch. You can support Spire Sports Group through us. We are an affiliate of Spire Sports Group. We talk about winning with NIL. That's how you can do it, is clicking that link in the description. Also want to ask you to become a member of the channel. You like what we do. You like the videos, the content, the live streams. Hit the join button. Commit today. Hit the join button and give $1 a month. That's it. That's all you got to give. You'll get a Power T beside your name, custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, all kinds of fun stuff, but you are supporting the #1 channel for Tennessee football on YouTube. That's right. I said it. That is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go big.